everybody. This is Kirk DeMars with One Nation, a Sports Locker Magazine Extra. It's good to have you joining us this Monday night. We've got a great interview tonight set up for you. We're going to have Coach Tracy Gastineau from William Woods University, and we're excited to have her on here. I'm going to get going right away, and I'm going to bring in my lost guest. I mean, he's been off of here for co-host. He's been off of here for a little bit. So, Jay, are you there?
I'm here. You found me.
I found you. Where have you been?
Oh my goodness. I was helping Santa up at the North Pole. If you didn't know, Christmas is next Friday, so there was just a ton of, preparing that we had to get done. A lot of logistics, and Santa always needs Papa J's help. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. How's his beard coming in? Yours looks pretty good there.
His beard is fantastic. Hanging out with him, mine gets a little wider every time, but that's okay.
Yeah, get used to it.
Yeah.
Get used to it. All right. Hey, we got a great program tonight. You excited about it?
I am super excited. I cannot wait to get Coach so we can start talking with her. I'm very excited.
I don't have all the effects down where we could have like smoke and all that kind of stuff rising up as we bring her around here, because she's had some great accomplishments there, and well-deserved. Very thankful to be able to talk to her tonight, so we're excited about that. Before we get started, though, I want to go ahead and give a shout-out to our sponsors. We've got Cns Business Services and Diesel Power Plus. We're going to run that commercial real quick for Diesel Power Plus, and we'll be right back. Yeah, you've got the hat on. That was like a Vanna thing right there. All right.
Thank you.
Nation bow before him, bow before my Lord. Let every nation bow before him, bow before my Lord. Rulers and kingdoms will adore and bow before my Lord.
Well, they're pretty awesome out there on Highway 87 and 50. That's Delton and Ashley Rissler. And they've got something very special coming up on April 17th. So make sure you set your calendar for that. They're having a huge truck show out there at the crossroads. And they've got people coming in from all over the place. We've been out there. Jay, of course, you've been out there when you were in town. They got a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
Got a lot of stuff. I know Emily was telling us that she was talking with somebody, and they, she was guest host one of the nights, and they said, "Tell me about that Diesel Power Plus place. We need to go out there." I was like, "So, all right." He didn't pay any attention to her. He just paid attention to where she was talking.
That's awesome.
Hey, I want to have you. Well, we got Barton Bailey. He's watching. How you doing, Barton?
Awesome. Hey.
Yeah, that's good to have him on here. Hey, we're going to go ahead and go ahead and introduce as far as what you want to say about Coach Gastineau, and then we'll bring her on here.
Absolutely. So I am very pumped to have Coach Gastineau here. So she's with William Woods University, and she's got a couple different titles there, and we're going to talk about that in the interview. But one thing is she's been the head coach of their softball program since 1998. Not to age Coach Gastineau or anything, but that's a long time to be there. She's been coaching there for 24 years. Her first year there, she was named the American Midwest Conference Coach of the Year. She did that her first year in 1998, which I think is very impressive. Obviously, with that long of a tenure there, one of the best records I think is really cool is on January 17th of 2015. She was part of the second class inducted into the William Woods Athletic Hall of Fame. So then that 1 month later, on February 27th in 2015, they defeated Ava Marie University. And with that win, Gastineau became William Woods' all-time wins leader with 595 wins. And then 17 days later, she hit the record books again when she earned her 600th career victory. That right there is just like, that's epic. 600 career victories. That was back in 2015. I'm sure she's added a few since then. She was also named the 2016 NAIA Coach of Character. The Coach of Character Award is given annually to an NAIA head coach who has embraced the 5 core values of the NAIA Champions of Character program. And that's demonstrated character through sport and instilled a culture of community leadership through volunteering or service. Her list goes on. This is all from William Woods University website. Go on there, look her up, and just check it out. She's just an amazing human. I've been talking with her for, I don't know, probably about 20 minutes now, and she's just a ball of energy. She's fun. There's a reason she has this many career wins. Let's bring her on. Come on, Coach.
All right, let's do it. Hey, Coach, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
How was that for an introduction from that guy? Wow.
Talk about a ball of energy.
Yeah. A ball of energy.
Hey, you. I'm usually super chill and boring. You gave it to me.
Oh,
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're very thankful and honored to have you on here. So, thanks.
Absolutely.
well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I think we want to just start out by just asking you, just tell our people that are watching, what are the positions that you hold at William Woods? Of course, head softball coach, but what else do you do there?
I'm the associate athletic director. I think I've been that, like, this is year 10 for that. I think in 2011, I was named associate AD. So got some things I'm doing there. Just helping our athletic director, lots of sports, and he has dual roles on campus as well. So just try to help out whenever I can there. I'm also the liaison for our assistant athletes. We call it our ASA group. And I've had that for a couple years now. So that's a group that I work with that I really enjoy, watching them, grow and share ideas and kind of get in touch with the whole department and all the teams.
Well, that's great. I mean, obviously that keeps you busy, and I know that right now with everything that's been going on with this past year, you guys have had to pick up different roles as well, and we'll get into some of that here in a little bit. But again, we're just very thankful for you to be on here, and I know that William Woods is thankful to have you for all that you brought to the university. And when you talk about somebody like yourself, you make a huge impact on the people that you come in contact with, your student athletes, as well as just the different students throughout the school and your community. So again, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. This is all about building you up tonight. So don't this is not about us. It's about you.
Amen to that.
Hey, Jake,
So
question.
Yeah, gotcha. So speaking of your career highlights, I kind of went over a few. I kind of want to hear, you have so many. What are the ones that you're really passionate about? I talked about this, you have over 600 career wins. What's it up to? How many wins do you have now?
I don't know. I know I've had 700. I'm over 700. But I don't know.
That's crazy.
I don't know what it is. But there's so many different ones. First win was really special. Was really nervous. Had the pregame jitters and all of those things. And then first inning, first few batters, we made some mistakes and they scored a run. So it was kind of just let me relax. Honestly, after that, I was like, well, things are going to go wrong. But that first win was really special. So competitive. 595 was pretty special because that was my coach. My mentor and my coach that gave me this job, Roger Turnus, that was beating him. And we're competitive because we're athletes and that's what we do. And I'm pretty. You can ask my family and my kids, my players for sure. I'm pretty competitive. So that was kind of cool, and it almost became it was kind of my program then, because I always not that I didn't feel like I didn't feel like I was in his shadow or anything like that. It just he was there for so long, and it was his program because I played for him. And that kind of, allowed me to think of it a little bit more with some ownership and again, that competitive. Coaching my sisters, that's special. I think those are highlights for me. I inherited my middle sister. She was a junior when I took over the program, and then I recruited, and my youngest sister played for me for 4 years. So getting to watch them, just family, getting to watch them play, and not play at times too, but just being a part of their daily life and in practices and stuff, that was pretty special. And then, there's always some that stand out, and one of them was a loss, believe it or not. I can't remember the year now, and if any of them former players, oh my gosh, they're gonna call me out on this one year. But we were at the opening round, the NAI opening round in Michigan, and we lost the game, but it was an electric. We were down by 7 and scored 7, and then gave up more. And I mean, it was like a marathon 18, 17, 15, 16 ball game. It was not a softball score.
Wow.
But the atmosphere in the dugout was like hair was standing up on end, and it was just electric. It was just electricity. And so that was fun. Winning our first regional in like 2005, I think. That was really special. 1 year, 2000. Oh my gosh, I don't know what the year was. Be mad at me. I want to say 2011. We were like the 6th seed, and our playoffs were you had to win a best of 3. And so as the 6th seed, we had to go play 3 on the road, and we beat them a best of 3. Then we had to play 2 on the road and beat them best of 3. And then we had to play 1 on the road and beat them 2 extra inning games in that one for that 3rd final series. So that was special. When you're the underdog, it's always special.
Oh,
I think.
yeah.
And you don't always want to be that, but it's nice when you can do that. And then the 2019, we weren't doing well, and gosh, we just got hot at the right time and ended up qualifying for the national tournament. And those kids had never been to a national tournament and had a big senior class. So yeah, I mean, it's more about the kids. And honestly, the biggest highlight's probably watching them walk across the stage at graduation and walk down the aisle at their wedding, and meeting their kids. I mean, those are probably, the highlights for sure.
Yeah, and just with a short amount of time of talking to you and interacting with you through email and everything like that, I mean, I know you're about others. You're not in this for self-recognition. Yes, you're competitive, but it's all about passing that along and getting the best out of everybody else. So I was able to pick up on that right away.
Absolutely.
Talk about hair standing on end. I have not felt that in a long time. I said that, I was just like, I don't remember what that feels like. My goodness.
Oh, poor Dad.
Aerodynamic. If I would have had this back when I was younger, aerodynamic, I would have been even faster. So, real quick, I just want to ask you about, some of these awards that you've received. I mean, Coach of Character, that sounds like that's a pretty big deal. Tell us about some of the other awards and just what they've meant to you.
That's probably personally, individually, that's probably the highlight. That one, because that's an NAI award. It's not just a softball award. It's every sport, and that was a pretty awesome thing to have. And that's, I mean, it's not you. It's it's the players that you coach, and how they carry themselves on and off the field. And so it was just that was probably the biggest. Although the Hall of Fame at William Woods, that was a special day. I was an athlete there, so I'm an alum. But I've worked there for so long, and that's the job. That's that campus. I'm there every day to work. And that day I was a visitor on campus, and that was really special. And to see, former players and teammates and friends that came back, family that have always been so supportive of me, that came to that was pretty cool and pretty special. But probably also my team has been a top 10 scholar team in the NAI and in the NFCA. We've been won a couple times, but in the top 10 consistently. So that's really been great. And my team has been named the NAI Team of Character a couple times. And so, just knowing that the time that you spend and the work that you want to put into establishing a culture, when that pays off, and to see that, not every year is not, just like in games, I think we want the peaks and valleys. We want to, we don't want to stay the same, because that's stagnant, honestly, when you're staying the same. So you take the good and the bad, and it's not always, it's not always great, but gosh, I've coached some exceptional women, and to get to watch them grow and empower them, because I found out early in my career that's what I wanted to do. That was my why, was to empower women, and to be able to do that and watch them not always like the rules and the standards and the expectations I have, but to, commit to them and accept them and embrace them, and to see them appreciate them when they're, when they're older, or in the world, as young professionals and mothers and wives and partners and all of those things. It's just it's a great thing to see.
Yeah, that's great. My mom had to make a comment real quick. She's watching. Hi, Mom. She said,
Hey, Mom.
Son. So she was talking about my hair thing. So anyway, thanks, Mom, for interacting there. Speaking of interaction, if there's anybody that has questions or comments that you want to make for Coach Gastineau, we would be more than happy to see those and hear from you. Jay, why don't you go on with the next question?
Absolutely. So I think it's really cool. You talked about being able to recruit and even coach your sisters, and I think that's really cool. You've got a lot of local student athletes there at William Woods University, but you also have a diverse group of people that come from across the country. So just trying to bring everyone together. I kind of want to know about the importance of having, that mix, but then also recruiting locally and getting, those local student athletes to come. I just want to give you the floor and let you kind of do some recruiting.
Well, I think it takes you a little bit to kind of find what you want, and for me, I discovered I needed a fit. I needed the right kids with the right fit here. That can be challenging when you have to have interest in William Woods, and we have to have mutual interest there, and all those pieces have to be important, or fit together. Mix is really important to me. They don't have to be straight A students, but they have to have straight A effort. And there's a difference in that. And any recruits or former players that see this, they've heard that, because that's in recruiting spiel, so to speak. It's what I talk about, because it's plan A. It's why you're there. But being from New Bloomfield, small school, and I understand the importance of their small schools everywhere in this country. And just because you're from a small school doesn't mean you're not big time, or that you can't be, or I came from I had basketball teammates that were Division I athletes and didn't get looked at much because small school. And that really, I think I learned early on that it's important to, find those hidden gems. And it's not all about the exposure you have. It's about the work ethic, your ability to commit, and your ability to fit in. Team chemistry is huge for me. Our team culture is, I tell my team this. I'm like, I love my kids, but I don't like them all the time, and that feeling's mutual. And I'm okay, because it's there. But I think if we all have the common denominator of softball, and it's a great place to start. It doesn't matter where you're from. And then we have a really big family atmosphere on our team. And it doesn't mean our team chemistry is great all the time. Doesn't mean our family is great all the time, but we really strive to promote that, and to spend time doing activities, COVID has killed that for us this year. It's just, we can't get together, as much,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't see their faces, you see that. And so it's been a challenge for sure there, but I think one of the quotes I've always, and I say it in my class that I teach, one of my favorite quotes is, kids don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so just striving to do that every day, to show them in little ways. And sometimes it could be in a punishment or a harsh talk or a difficult conversation, but to have those high expectations, I think is kind of where we can gel together. And they know that family is important to me, and they know that they're my kids. So I think those are all ways that I think I can help make that work. Obviously, having local athletes, I think, is huge, vital. It's awesome. I'm from New Bloomfield. I went right up to William Woods to play. My family and my friends could come watch me play, and that's a big deal. And so to get other athletes that are able to do that and able to see that, and then for our like, we have a lot of California kids. From our California kids, by the second Thanksgiving, they're going home with teammates, to their homes for Thanksgiving, and some of our local, or really open up their lives and their surrogate parenthood and things like that. So it's a win-win for sure.
Good. That's very good. Hey, we'll get into a little bit more about at New Bloomfield and what it's like for you as a coach trying to mesh all these different classes of student athletes coming in, because obviously everybody thinks that they're top dog when they're coming in, but they find out differently when they get there. But we'll get to that after we do another sponsor here real quick. We're going to look at CNS Business Services. We're going to look at their video, and then we'll just do a quick promo, and we'll be right back at it.
It's time to show what you're made of. At CNS Business Services, we know how to connect employees with employers. We've been doing just that for over 40 years. CNS works with top employers in Central Missouri, placing employees in positions that meet the needs of the employee as well as the employer. At CNS, we take the work out of finding you work. Contact CNS Business Services. It's time to take control of your employment future.
Say yes to CNS.
I got some great friends over there. They do a great job as far as trying to help people find a job throughout mid-Missouri. And you know what? They are needing to fill some positions. I mean, it's hard to imagine that, people aren't out there really looking for jobs like they should be. I mean, I know COVID's got a lot to do with some different things, but they have all sorts of positions that are open all throughout mid-Missouri. Full-time, part-time, remote, temp to hire, and direct hire positions. And some of those include administrative and clerical, manufacturing and labor, customer service, technical, automotive and mechanical positions, and so many more. If you guys know somebody, send them to CNS Business Services, and that team over there will work very hard to get you into a position that you'll be happy about, and you'll be glad you did. So that's our two sponsors for tonight. They do a great job and allow us to be able to come on and talk to people like you, Tracy. And again, we're so thankful for having you on here. You mentioned you went to New Bloomfield, and we represent them in the magazine. It's an honor to be able to have those student athletes in here and tell their stories and show some really cool pictures that my daughter Katie does a fantastic job with, as well as Paige Smith. She does a great job on her articles and her photography. So it's all about the kids, and I know that that's how you feel. Tell us a little bit about what it's like trying to mesh these different student athletes together into one common goal when they're coming from all over the country, as well as different levels of competition.
I think, again, they have that common denominator of softball. All have different background experiences and exposure. But, just spending time for them to get to know each other. I think, and for me to get to know them, I think that's huge. And we use a weekend of team bonding, we call it, and we weren't able to do that this year. But we take a weekend where we go out and we pitch tents and go camping and get to know each other. And, I think sometimes just seeing how people react to things, it doesn't have to do with a big city that they're from or a small town. I do think, a lot of our city girls Have never slept in a tent or pitched one, so that's always fun for them to watch that. And on days that there's 6 cars at the traffic light, and we're like, oh gosh, it's it's taken forever. They don't get that. I have to tell my California when we talk miles, it's minutes. So if it's 20 miles away, it's 20 minutes away.
Right.
So we have to distinguish that for them, or give them that clarity. But I think it's good. It's good for them to have diverse backgrounds and different experiences, and some that have had bad experiences and some that have had really good. I've been watching the We Coach Breakthrough Summit today with a lot of inspiring women coaches, and I'm big on if you can see her, you can be her, and just for them to see difference and be exposed to different backgrounds. We have a female president. We got a female, dean of student life. That there's just a lot of really good role models that they can, embrace at William Woods. And I think you just try to do that. You just try to expose them to as much. And I think you have to learn through failure. And thankfully, we play a sport that is a game of failure, so they're able to do that. And it doesn't matter if you're from a big school, small school. Everybody drops a fly ball every now and then, and so they just learn how to interact with each other and break it down into some common themes. I think that helps.
That is right. Absolutely. Yes, we all do make mistakes, and we don't always do things right, and that's about picking yourself up as well as picking your teammates up. And Coach, I just got to share a quick story about Jay. When we played softball together, Jay got literally ran over at home plate by somebody, and I mean, he did not know where he was at. And
no, that was a big boy. He was like 6'8", 300 pounds. He destroyed me.
I've never seen a person Jay size fly in the air like he did, and he did. And obviously we weren't too happy about that, but he recouped and he got back out and went after it again. So. Enough so that he has encouraged his kids. He's got 4 of them, and his daughter is 11 years old, and this past year was her first year playing softball, and that was a lot of fun watching her get out there and play, as well as my grandson. So it's fun, isn't it?
It's very fun. I enjoy getting out there. I was able to help kind of be like an assistant, like helper coach, and it was just fun. It was a blast. So I understand why you love that so much, because it's an absolute blast, and it really is all about the kids and just watching them learn and compete. It's just fun. That kind of brings me into my next question for you. So you kind of talked about COVID and all these different things going on this year, and it's just making it more difficult, as you said, especially connecting with the kids. And so I'm just kind of curious, you've been doing this for so long, and with the position you hold, I'm sure you've got other coaches and they're like, hey, what do we do? And I know sometimes it's hard because we've never been in this situation before, but with your leadership ability, I know you step up to that role. I mean, how has that been? How are the students responding? What's kind of the plan going into, these upcoming seasons? I'm just curious how it's all working out for you.
Well, our students have really been resilient. That would be the word I would use, because they're in a social time of their life. I mean, this is one of your most social times of your life, and they really had to tone that down a lot. Our university's had some restrictions and some guidelines in place that are going to, allowing us to stay in school, which is where the kids wanted to be. I mean, we all wanted them to be there, in-person learning. But they had limits in the dining hall and being able to go into each other's residence halls initially at the beginning of the year. Like those were things that we were just trying to avoid, a spread of being in close quarters and stuff. So I think I heard a lot of athletes on our campus like, we want to play. And so we're willing to make some sacrifices for us to be able to play. And we really saw a lot of kids being proactive with their teams. and on campus about, hey, put your mask on, follow the rules. Those are the things that, we didn't always have to be the ones preaching it, that they could help each other. But our fall sports were pushed to the spring. And we had a delay in when we could start practices, and then they were in phases, in small groups and pods which was crazy. I had roommates that weren't in the same pod, so they never practiced together, but they were roommates. But the way the class schedule and their positions worked. But I think a lot of coaches found, I know in talking to a lot of other softball coaches, we found a lot of appreciation in the small groups in some of those moments. So hopefully, we take away all the good we can and all the advantages we can. It took me a long time to realize less can be more, sometimes in practices and things. And that took 1 year where I had two pitchers, and we had to tone down the practices because we just needed them to rest and be healthy. And I found out everybody else was better with some of that rest and some of that healthiness. And so I don't want to say that that's age and a mellow with me. I think it's just more I'm trying to think smarter about things. And but yeah, coaches, our athletic department right now is, when we have kids on campus, our department is delivering the meals to them in their rooms, and in supply need and things like that. So I took on a couple more classes teaching this semester to help out with some just some classes that needed to be covered, and a couple other coaches did as well. I think we're just trying to we've taken over some cleaning, some extra cleaning in the building and things. I think the hardest thing for us as coaches is you can't just pop into somebody's office and talk now. Recruits, I had to meet them outside my office. Like, they couldn't come in my office because of spacing and some things with that. So those were different and challenges. But I think the spring sports, we got our season taken at, with very short notice. We were very fortunate. We were on our way to Kansas and saw things developing, or I saw developing. My kids aren't allowed to have their phones on the bus when we travel, so they weren't getting any of the information I was getting from Jason, our athletic director, and on Twitter about things aren't looking great. So we were able to play. We played our first game, and then we had to get on and go to a different field for our second game of the day. And I called Jason, and he's like, "Yeah, I think you got to play it like it's your last." So we were able to tell our team that, and we had a little bit of closure with that. But you're 20 games. You played 20 games, and we hadn't played a conference game yet. Hadn't still working out lineup things and roles there. So it's difficult. So I think that we have been. I think that's our biggest challenge is taking it day by day, being hopeful, being optimistic, all of those things, and just being appreciative. I think that's what we're trying to do.
Very good.
But I've coached, it doesn't matter how long you've coached. You can ask me 24 years, you can ask 40, 50-year veteran coaches. Like, this year has been like no other. Like, this is not in the playbooks. Look at the world. The world wasn't prepared for this pandemic. So we just all have to adjust and rewrite the script a little bit, I think.
Absolutely. It has definitely been different. Hey, I wanted to share this with you real quick. This is from Katie DeMarsgill. So this is my daughter and Jay's wife making this comment. That's so wonderful that the students have been able to be in person at school. I'm sure they really appreciate that. Sounds like you guys have done a fantastic job and have had a good plan. So obviously, I know you've had to figure that all out as you go, but it's definitely appreciated. And we appreciate having you on here tonight. I told you this time was going to go by fast, and
it went by.
We can't even ask all the questions we wanted to. We would like to have you come on again sometime if you'd be up for that. Hopefully we didn't scare you off, did we?
No, I would love to. I was waiting for, a surprise question that was going to throw me off, but
It was coming from Jay. It was coming, but we didn't.
Well, I was gonna
I
mention,
know.
Jay, when you're talking about watching your daughter, I get to watch my nieces and my nephews are getting ready to sports too. Just watching the love. I probably adore that as much as coaching kids, because I just get to see them do something they love. And so yeah, I don't know. I have sisters out there that are on Facebook, might be watching this, and if so, got to tell my nieces and nephews hi from Tate. That's what they call me. So
That's great. Well, Coach, thank you so much. If you'll hold on here after we close off, we'll just visit with you real quick. But Jay and I are going to go ahead and close out the program. Again, thank you so much for being on here. We really appreciate it.
my pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right, Jay. Wow, that was a great interview.
She's just a fantastic human. I like meeting good people. It's fun when you can just meet other good people in this world and connect with them. So she's a great person. I'm glad we had the chance to talk with her and connect. So very cool.
Yeah, very good. Well, you know what this means. I mean, you're back in the saddle again, so you get the final word. So go ahead.
Back in the saddle again. Let's ride. I love it. I'm super pumped to be back. Thank you guys. Sorry that you only had to deal with the bald eagle and have me. So I'm sorry about that. I'm kidding. I've watched all the programs. They're fantastic. Thanks to all the guest hosts that jumped on and helped out while I was with Santa Claus. You guys are fantastic. So I really appreciate that. But I love being back. And if I don't have to, I don't want to give up my guest host with Kirk. I absolutely love this. It's the highlight of my week. So hopefully I'm back here and I won't be going anywhere. So One Nation, we really appreciate you. This was an SLM Extra, and we can't wait to see you again next Monday. You guys have a great week.
Yeah, have a great week. Thank you.